Test. Is it loud enough? Thank you everyone for hanging in there. I know there's a lot of people talking. I want to thank Dan and Tara. They worked their butts off to put on this event. And I'm grateful to be here. I'm going to be honest with everyone. I think a lot of people are struggling with what's going on. I hear a lot of talk about COVID, the lockdown, and what this means. It's pretty dramatic. I get that. Basically, we've been incarcerated in our homes. This is unprecedented for humanity across the world. It's impacted our jobs, our connection to our community, our friends. This is huge. But I want to look at the big picture. I want to look at what's coming. Because I think it's a technocracy, and it could have a totalitarian component similar to what's going on in Canada, and I believe it's tied into 5G. That's the engine, the technology. It's going to usher in the AI society, and this is all about machines, automated machines, drones, satellites beaming down. It's going to be about robots. We're going to lose up to 40% of our jobs. So we need to ask, why do we have mass immigration, mass migration into our country when we're going to lose up to 40% of our jobs? Go look online. This is the projection. It could be 50, 60%. And yesterday I toured around Victoria. I want to know what's going on. I thought there'd be 5G here. We've only identified 4G towers. The measurements are in the mid-extreme level of EMF radiation. Independent science for decades has showed its a cumulative effect on your health. It leads to cancer, blood disorder, organ disorder, severe oxidative stress, respiratory issues, psychological issues, psychiatric. Women are more prone to miscarriages. Child development is affected. This is being deployed across Canada and around the world. This is what's coming. It's called a technocracy. 24/7 surveillance, biometrics. We already have them. Our photos on our ID cards, that's a form of biometric. There'll be facial recognition. Look at that, a flagpole. I bet you that's facial recognition right there, mid-level on that pole. This is the new Canada. We need to embrace it. And the great thing about this issue, it unifies everyone. In a sense, we're all affected. It doesn't matter your color of skin, your religion, anything. We're all going to be impacted. I don't like what's coming, especially the health component of EMF radiation. There's a cell tower just up there, rooftop, you can see it. That's 4G, there's one behind it. On the Victoria Hotel, it's beaming EMF. We measure today mid-extreme levels. 0.5 volts per meter is a level. Below that, where it's safe, we were around 3. So we were almost triple more than that, quadruple what it should be. The BC Ferries building has a nasty cellular tower on it. Everyone be aware of your environment, what's around you. So many people are looking down, they're not aware. Take control of your environment. Activate. Activism is the way forward. They don't want you to activate, they want you to be conforming. They want you to not think outside the box. So everything NCA does is all about activism. On the ground, tomorrow we're heading up to Saanich. There's some nasty, really nasty cellular stuff up there in public spaces. We're going to expose it tomorrow. I'm predicting our meter's going to be peaking out in the public areas, but we're going to let these beautiful people living in this community know about it. But 5G will be coming here. Understand that. If you want to know what's coming, as David Icke says, looked at China, and he's right. They have over 350 million facial recognition cameras. They have a social credit system. That's coming here. I'm telling you. What's with the social distancing, all that? It's all connected. So let's think about that. That's what we need to fight. This technocracy. It's suspending our democracy. It's going to impact our freedoms. Totalitarian state. Imagine that. We all need to wake up to that, because that's what's coming. Very scary stuff. I predict in 5 years we won't be able to recognize Canada. It'll be so radically transformed. Cameras everywhere. They'll be tracking. They'll say, what do you have to hide? What do you have to hide? Right? This is what's coming, and that's going to stamp out freedom. We're going to be divided. We're going to be controlled. If you don't conform, you're going to be a number. Just like in China, they got those cameras, and they don't like you. They come after you. They take your freedoms away. You can't fly. You can't travel. They're tracking people for jaywalking. We're going to be like mice. Rodents, controlled, eh? Where you can go, what you can think. But that's the truth. That's what's coming. We need to be focused on that. I took a reading up there. I don't think the reading is going to be as high here. We were about 3.5 at the legislature building yesterday. We got tree cover here. I don't think we're going to be as high. This is measuring the EMF now. We're peaking out at 1.27. Here, it's silent. You don't see it, but it's there. That's over the adverse health effects right here. We're covered by trees. But this is impacting everyone here, our health. There's a report, I'm not going to go on, in 1977 by Soviet Union on millimeter waves. And that's what they're bringing 5G in. Millimeter waves. They were, the studies on national, like we put it up, we read it. It's talking about severe organ disorder, disruption, harm. It talks about oxidative stress, cell death, a lot of harm to the internal workings of the body. And they were testing on humans and animals. We know it's linked to cancer, but they're ignoring it. This is true. There's so many studies done. But we've been documenting because we want people to know this is coming. And there's so many Canadians afraid around the world. But the corruption is so deep. And this systemic racism stuff, it's just a distraction. The real issue is global systemic corruption. That's the real issue.
Woo!
That's the real issue here. We need to focus on that. I looked at, I'm not going to go on, the International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection. That is the epitome of systematic corruption. It's tied to who? It's been bought out by the telecommunication industry, and they set the international standards on EMF radiation levels. They ignore non-thermal effects of EMF radiation. And then the thermal effects are set so high, your skin's got to be burning. So it's complete denial. Guess what? That organization in 1977 advised Health Canada on the standards here. And they're virtually the same to that corrupt organization. You see what's going on? And the Parliament ignores it. Since 2014, they admitted, go to their website, they've been fully collaborating with the telecommunication industry on 5G deployment in Canada. They haven't asked a single Canadian their consent. This will give you a taste of what's really going on. So, you know, we support all Canadians. I know every patriot here does. But, you know, we're concerned about the systemic corruption. As long as that's there, forget it. These people are sick. They're playing a little game with our lives now. There will be no privacy. We barely have any now. With 5G, it's going to be the infrastructure. There's no way to opt out. You're going to come out and you'll be facial recognition everywhere. And that's coming. It's just going to creep in. It's going to creep in. But we can fight it. What goes up can come down. But our message at NCA is very clear. This is a political solution. You can write your petitions. You can write your MP. You're wasting your time. The establishment MPs are just puppets, distractions, illusion of democracy. That's all they are. The petitions go nowhere. You need to be active. Like today, everyone came out. That's activism. They don't want you to be active. Activism is the fuel that will turn this around. But it's affecting all Canadians, people worldwide. We have people from Finland, US, Australia. They're all concerned. And we're only touching on it. I haven't even, you know, I could talk about geoengineering. That's going on. We know about it, right? Vaccinations, mandatory vaccination, it's all connected. But remember, technocracy, that's the end game. Controlling us. It's the truth. But we can fight it. But you got to be independent. You got to think outside the box, and you got to activate. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Woo! Thank you, Stephen. Thank you so much.